the end of the day, it's your journey, it's your adventure, and no one can really fully 100% know what you know. They cannot feel what you feel. They don't have your vision. They don't have your drive. They don't have what's in your heart, that like God's put in your heart something that needs to be in the world maybe, or like this adventure that is on your heart that you need to take, and no one can really fully understand it. Welcome to the Dream Big, Have Adventures podcast, where your big entrepreneurial dreams and your dreams of travel and adventure collide. Hi, I'm your host, Tess Milholland. I'm a published author and founder of HerHouse, an app community of solo women travelers who host each other for free, giving us safe, affordable accommodation and a supportive network of women all around the world. Here we mesh big dreams of building business with your thirst for adventure, because I'm going to give you a hint. They're actually way more connected than you realize. On here, I dive into building a tech startup as a solo founder and bring women from the HerHouse community onto the show to share what they're building and how we're bringing women together by hosting others in our network. So no matter where you're listening to this, doing the dishes, on the road, or in the airport, if you have big dreams and a thirst for adventure, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. So the more that I reflect on my time building this tech startup, I'm continually reminded of how similar it is to my experience solo traveling. So much similarity between being a startup founder and solo traveling. The first is the feeling of launching the business is basically exactly the same feeling of like before I went to go solo travel. I remember right before I launched the MVP of HerHouse back in September of 2021, I remember taking this video. And in the video, I was like, I don't know why I'm taking this video, but I just want to document this season that I am scared out of my mind about what I'm about to do. I'm about to launch HerHouse, and it's like exactly how I felt right before I stepped on that plane to go to the other side of the world all by myself. Especially when you're a solo founder, it's very, very similar to solo traveling because you're out there on your own, you're taking these risks, you're having this adventure because like not only like going overseas and like traveling is an incredible adventure in itself, but actually starting a business has been one of the most incredible adventures of my life. Doing that has been an amazing experience for me. And launching the business is basically exactly how I felt before I went to Australia. So like being able to feel the fear, feel the feelings, and then take those next steps forward is what really gave me the capabilities of doing it as an entrepreneur. So I definitely think that being able to keep going past your fear as a solo traveler is going to help you in business 100%. And the second is just being able to figure things out. Like while I was overseas, like you basically like have to just be able to figure things out. I remember when I was running out of money, because you're over there for an extended period of time. I had a working holiday visa and I really needed a job because I was running out of money. And I remember I was like going to every single restaurant that I could find that was like a decent restaurant that I could maybe like bartend in because I had bartending and serving experience. So I was like looking for a job and I'm like, someone's got to hire me. Like, what is this just like not going to work out? Like it has to work out, right? And so that's also how I felt going into my business as well. You really have to take on that knowing that you can figure things out. Like everything is figure outable, just like Marie Forleo said. And so I think that having my experience overseas, like as a solo traveler, it gives you this capability to be able to figure things out. And it's a really important quality that startup founders really, really need. You have to be scrappy. You have to be able to figure things out on your own. And I think that solo traveling itself really helped prepare me to be able to do that. And long story short, like I was able to find a job in the Gold Coast. I ended up bartending at a five-star like restaurant in the Gold Coast for like a few months before I went sailing. So, you just go into these things and everything's always going to work out just fine. Third is being able to dig deep and make decisions on my own. Because at the end of the day, no one really knows what you're going through as a solo traveler or as a founder. I mean, there are people like the ladies inside of HerHouse are going to be able to understand it more than probably just people in your regular life when you're out solo traveling. So the HerHouse community is definitely like a place where you can like find some camaraderie, find some women who understand what you're going through, maybe give you some advice. And same with like being in the founder world, trying to find community of people who kind of understand what you're going through. But at the end of the day, it's your journey, it's your adventure, and no one can really fully 100% know what you know. They cannot feel what you feel. They don't have your vision. They don't have your drive. They don't have what's in your heart, that like God's put in your heart something that needs to be in the world, maybe, or like this adventure that is on your heart that you need to take, and no one can really fully understand it. So I think that being able to dig deep and to be able to make my own decisions as a solo woman traveler really helped prepare me to be able to make decisions as a founder. Because before I went to solo travel, I remember I would always have to ask for everyone else's opinion for everything. I feel like I would never be able to, I feel like I couldn't make decisions on my own. Like I always had to ask my dad or my boyfriend or, like my friends, or, I needed everyone else's ideas and, insight into being able to make a decision. And at the end of the day, like when I was solo traveling, I was like, no one else can really fully make these decisions. Like I have to make this decision. Everyone else is asleep right now that I know. They're on the other side of the world. Everyone else is asleep. I can't talk to anybody. What's my decision? It gives you the capability to be able to do these things. And I have 100% carried that capability with me beyond, like way beyond solo traveling. I've carried it into my family, I have a career in corporate, I'm now a startup founder. I've carried that so much. Just the ability to make my own decisions has been so, so, so valuable. So I definitely think that's another really big thing that solo traveling gave me as a founder. The fourth is to stay open to serendipity. So this is like something that was a really beautiful experience for me while I was solo traveling. Okay, how do I explain this? So it's like staying open to whatever God has in store for you in this adventure. My prayer on a regular basis is, God, please show me what I can do, and please do for me what I cannot. And so, like, you show up and you do the work, or you show up to the adventure, and then you allow like the serendipity of God to like bring the right people into your life, bring the right opportunities into your life, like staying open and available for that beautiful divine serendipity. And I write about this in my book, Shorebird Skies, but like little Cliff Notes version, I ended up getting left on an island while I was solo traveling. And I was sailing up the coast. I got left on this island, and it was like such a scary experience for me. But then all of a sudden, like magically, like these girls showed up and their dad, and they're like, hey, do you want to sail with us? And it was like such an incredible experience to see, honestly, just to see God like come in and like bring the right people into the situation to help me through that, scary situation that I was in, and help me get onto a different vessel and get off of that vessel that I was sailing with that guy. And I explain the whole thing in my book, so you should definitely get my book, Shorebird Skies, when you can, because it was a really cool experience that I had. And but what that did is it revealed to me that like God is always going to be working in our lives. And it's kind of a dance, right? Like you move, I move, you move, I move with God, like through this life. Like whether you're traveling and going on these adventures or you're having this adventure of like building your business, it's just like staying open to the serendipity of God, bringing opportunities and cool things into your life. And that goes into my fifth thing is to stay open and available to new opportunities. And I think that was something I also really learned while I was solo traveling that I continue to carry with me. Because like when I was traveling, I was living in the Gold Coast. I was bartending. I was basically like doing the exact same thing I was in Texas, but I was like on the other side of the world. And I was like, what am I doing? Right? I want to do something like completely different. And I thought about like working with racehorses, because I have an extensive background in like riding horses and rodeo and all of that. Was like, well, I could probably like work these racehorses or like groom these racehorses. So I thought about getting into the racehorse circuit there in Australia. But then I saw this opportunity to sail and live on sailing yachts. I have no experience in this realm at all, but that experience actually led to one of the most incredible adventures of my life that I ended up writing a book about. So like being able to stay open and available for opportunities when presented, I continue to bring that into my daily life and into my business, like being able to go to New York and be on Good Morning America, having these opportunities like to be on the How I Built This podcast with Guy Raz, these are things that are kind of scary, and I think that they're nerve-wracking whenever you get the opportunity. But like if you get the opportunity to like seize your opportunity, because it's like it might not come back around. So it's like staying open to these opportunities and being open to them was really, really vital. And so I think that those are really the most important things that I learned and I carried from my solo traveling experience is like, feeling the fear and taking that next step anyway, being able to figure things out, being able to dig deep and make your own decisions, staying open to divine serendipity, and just going for opportunities when presented. Those are the things that really stuck with me as I continue to build this business. Thanks so much for tuning into this episode of the Dream Big, Have Adventures podcast. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to like and subscribe. And if you're feeling generous, a review is a really helpful way to help us reach more listeners around the world. And if you're a woman keen for solo adventure but want a real community who you can connect and stay with around the world, come join us in HerHouse. You can download the app right now on Google and Apple, and you can check us out with a 7-day free trial. I can't wait to connect with you personally inside of the HerHouse network. And until next time, keep dreaming big and having adventures. We'll see you out there.